Welcome to DocPoint Helsinki Documentary Film Festival's 20th edition. My name is Kati Juurus, and I have the pleasure of moderating this Q&A with Amel Alzakout. Welcome, Amel, and thank you very much for being here with us today. You are the co-director of Purple Sea. The other director, Khaled Abdul Wahid, is not able to be with us here today, but he's there with you, actually, if I'm not mistaken. Your film Purple Sea has been nominated for the DocPoint Wiley Award for Best International Documentary Film at the DocPoint Festival now. So first of all, big thanks again for the film and for joining us. And let me just first tell you that I so want to thank you for this film, which I find just definitely one of the most important films of the year. Really, for me, the experience of watching the film was extremely physical, and I felt like fainting at times. I felt like crying. I felt that I was suffocating. Very painful, but then at the same time, it's a very beautiful film at the same simultaneously, which is strange. And I can't thank you enough for making such a strong piece of cinematic art out of the terrible experience that you had 5 years ago, I believe, in the Mediterranean Sea. So it's wonderful to see you in good shape now. I believe you are in Germany with Khaled. So can you please tell me a little bit about what's happening in your lives now?
Thank you so much, Kati, for having me here. I'm really happy, and actually we are very happy about the nomination of Purple Sea for the international award. It's such an honor. And yes, we live now, me and Khaled, as you know, we are partner in life. We live in Leipzig. We have a daughter, a 2 years old daughter, and I'm studying media art at the university here, and Khaled is working on his films. I'm also started a bit to develop my next project. So it's kind of, I mean, you know that in this situation, it's not easy to do things, but we are still trying. Yeah.
Okay, great to hear. I'm going to ask about the project at the end of our conversation. But first, maybe I'd like to ask, when you decided to leave Istanbul to join Khaled, I guess it was the only option to leave with a human trafficker. There was no other way for you to leave.
Exactly. I mean, when Khaled was accepted, he got an invitation to Berlinale in 2015 in February at that time, and when he arrived here, he started his asylum process, and we thought that it would be easier for me to come because that he's here. But unfortunately, I mean, we tried every legal way to. I applied for 2 visas, and I was rejected. And between him being in Berlin and me deciding on taking the trip, there was 9 months, and that was the limit that we could really have. So when I decided to, it wasn't an easy decision, to be honest. I mean, nobody would think of this. For me now, like just thinking of how could someone go to Europe, all this long road. It's something, I mean, it's unbelievable. We would hear about it, and I mean, for me, in like stories or fairy tales, or so. But of course, I didn't have the choice, and I started to look for a way. I started to ask around friends and the people who were already who already took this route, and yeah, I mean, it took me some time until I found the smuggler where I decided to go with. Yeah.
Such an irony that the smuggler was a film producer as well, so you were like colleagues. Um, did you foresee that it wouldn't go so well? Because I don't know at what time you decided to tie the camera onto your body so that it would record everything that's going to happen to you. Was it when it started sinking?
No, actually, because as I said, the trip was something unusual for me. I wanted to keep this memory, and I also wanted to share it with Khalid, who wanted to come with me on this trip. He wanted to come back from Berlin and take that plane with me. And I started to film from the very beginning. Actually, there was this like a long trip before we reached the boat from Istanbul to Izmir, and it was 15 hours. So I started to film there, but the difference, I mean, at the beginning I was filming with everything I have, with my mobile phone, with the waterproof camera, with a small camera. And the waterproof camera, it's very small. It's really like this size. Doesn't have a screen. And it's very light to just handle. So it was, for me, it was the best choice, even if I'm like filming on the road. And I was filming intentionally until the moment the boat collapsed, actually. So for me, the whole trip itself was really not. Sorry for the noise. It was not very. I mean, I had this feeling that something wrong is happening, because also there was some process at the beginning that they told us we should be 40 people on this trip, and then we were 300 something. Oh. So we knew, I mean, we felt that something wrong is happening. The moment I tied the camera to my wrist was when I was on the boat. When I saw the smuggler, I saw a guy who was filming, like taking a selfie or something, and the smuggler was running to him, taking his mobile phone, deleted everything. So I got scared. I just put it under my sleeve and kept filming. Yeah.
Unfortunately, you did. While on the boat and while the terrible things started happening, while the ship started sinking and so forth, were you filming intentionally? Were you taking images, or did it all just happen? Because I had a feeling that sometimes, at least when the helicopter came and we heard your anger on the voiceover, you actually were intentionally filming and making images. So can you tell me about that? Could you think about filming while being in such a situation?
From the moment that the boat started to collapse, I wasn't in control of the camera at all. I mean, I was really looking for something else, trying to be to survive. So I think, I mean, what is unique in these footages is that it's the camera perspective, what we see in Purple Sea, and even, I mean, even the like the above water footages. It's also the camera. It's like it's my hand movement. So I of course I saw the light one time. I saw that it's filming. I could see that it's still filming. And in the real footage, like in the raw materials, you could see there is a lot of cuts, because the camera will shut off and on whenever my hand bumped into something. So but the moment where we see the helicopter, I actually intentionally filmed, because I was frustrated. I just wanted to film them because I saw that they are filming. And this moment for me was like, yeah, and it's like I was frustrated. I can't say
it was
more.
a very powerful moment, and the anger in your voiceover. I'm not going to even, because I wish we had more time than 20 minutes. So I'm going directly to the point where eventually you reached the shore and you got to Germany. I'm sure that was a whole adventure in itself and so forth. But when you, because it was, as you said, it was supposed to be a private material for your own and Khaled's sort of memory. At what time and how did you decide to make a film out of it? And thank you for that decision that you decided to make a film out of it. But how did that come about?
It started when I came to Germany, and I already knew that the camera filmed. I was very curious to see. Actually, it was for me like really what was in there, what could it be, and is it possible that it filmed what I have seen? I mean, is it the same things? For Khaled, it was very different. He didn't want to see at the beginning. I mean, I understand a lot that decision, but he was sometimes sneaking behind when I'm watching, so he could see bits and pieces. But both of us, I mean, we saw the raw materials in full after a year, actually. Like it was in the end of 2016. And at the beginning, as I said, like there was no intention to make a film out of it. It was for personal reasons. And there was at the beginning this urge, like what should we do? These are evidence, and how do we deal with evidence? Should we go legally, which we tried at the beginning. We went to lawyers, and also we contacted forensic architecture, who made also an investigation film out of some of the footages, and other, like they took other resources at the same time. And but at the same time, this like the decision to go legally was very important, because it's also, I mean, we wanted to blame someone, we wanted to know what happened really. But there was still this feeling that how do we tell the story from our perspective? I mean, this is what we don't see nowadays. We see in the media, like, and it's not bad. I don't see it like a bad thing to tell the story of the others. But at the same time, like, why, if we are able to tell the story the way we want? It's not how to tell the story, actually. I mean, it could be there are different stories, could be coming from these this incident, or but Khaled, as you know, he's a filmmaker before, and for me this was my first experience. It was very hard at the beginning, and I was resisting a lot being working with it, because I didn't want to see myself as a victim. I didn't want to be dealt with as a victim. So I was trying, we were all of us trying to find the distance, the right space to distance myself from the person who lived that experience, and at the same time telling what she felt, what she lived. And because we were really lucky, because we had Pong, who are the producers of the film, Philip Schaffner, Melik Brugger, and Alex Gargolet. They are dear friends. They were waiting for me when I came to Germany, so we knew them before, and we liked their work a lot, artistically and politically. So we were very lucky to work with them on this, and they were very sensitive. And I think this intimate like environment led us to start thinking of how to deal with these images. And
how was the editing process? How did you was it two of you in the edit? How did you decide how to do it, and when did the beautiful narration come there? Because I just want to comment on the narration, because for me it made the film more identifiable somehow, even though it was your narration, your story, your life. Actually, you were even talking about your experiences in your childhood, the drowning experience and so forth. But whilst you were talking and telling and getting me to the point with your voice, to the moment now, I really felt that I was there with you. So please tell me about describe a little bit the editing process and how this narration came about.
At the beginning, it all started like, as I said, how to deal with these images. And I think, and I like what Philip usually describes, that we built houses for this film, and all the houses started to fall down in front of the materials. I mean, we tried to avoid it. Actually, we start to somehow at the beginning we try to fictionize things, like not to use the real materials, but nothing worked. And at some point when we decided, I mean, there was many decisions that led us to decide what to use in the material. I'm talking visually now. For instance, like we all of us, we didn't want to show people faces, yeah. And we didn't want to show any violence. So we started with that idea, how to shape that thing. But I think we reached the point where we started to see the film when we wrote the text. We were thinking of, do we tell what happened exactly, or I mean, what does it mean if we tell what happened? And it's like, why shouldn't we think of the situation of somebody who's in like the mindset of somebody in that situation? We started to write the text, me and Khaled, with help of Alex and Merle and Philippe in the dramaturgy. It felt great just to bring this private story to make it like this personal story, not private. Actually, it's a very personal, that you could relate to it as an like spectator, as anybody who's watching. Because, for instance, the I form and the you form in this, we thought it's really like very, very hard to use it, because it will show who's I and who's you, and but this is not what happened. Actually, the I here helped to create this distance. And yeah, I think this is how the text came, but also the space, the visual space opened the text more for more.
Lovely. I wish I could. I have so many more questions, but I don't think I have much time. It's a very political film. Apart being very artistic, very beautiful piece of art, it's a very political film. Do you see it having any kind of a political impact anywhere?
Definitely. I think even if sometimes the film is not being seen as a direct, like the politics in the film is not direct or something, but I think the film itself is a statement against what we are seeing in the media. The least that the film could do is just to be, that we tell the story the way we want, from the individual experience, from very close experience. So I think this is what could be politically.
And it's reminding us that it's happening while we speak. There's people out there all the time in similar boats. On your boat, 43 people lost their lives. So yeah. Listen, I would like to go on, but we have to finish because the time is running out. But I just want to give you a little surprise. We have these for you. which are let me explain to you. They are forest certificates. We have purchased small little pieces of Finnish primeval forest in your names, so that it will be kept as it is, to offset some of the atmospheric pollution that the festival is creating and so forth, and to keep Finland, piece of Finland in your hearts. So listen, we are going to send them to you after the festival. So listen, thank you so much for making this film with all my heart, and thank you for being here with us today. And it was wonderfully interesting to talk to you. And so, I didn't hear about your new film or the upcoming project, but I will make sure to watch it as well.
We will talk later, of course. Thank you so much, Kathy. It was very nice talking to you. Thank you.
Thanks. Take care.